right, moving on with other news. Home gardens are once again under attack. Remember the situation in Michigan with Julie Bass and how she was threatened with jail time for growing a garden in her own front yard? Well, now it's happened to another man in Orlando, or near Orlando. A College Park man fights to keep vegetable garden in his front yard, says the news out of Orlando. And the city of Orlando says the garden is, well, against the city code. Oh, how dare you grow your own food in your own yard in or near the city of Orlando. You know, this is fascinating because look at Hurricane Sandy and the aftermath. People didn't have, well, food, right? What if they had grown gardens? You know, wouldn't America be stronger if we had more gardens and more yards, stronger against natural disasters, stronger against war, against a nuclear attack or a nuclear accident, anything like that? Home gardening is the solution. It's part of liberty, really. So it's really sad to see this happening, but I hope that InfoWars will cover this more in the days ahead. Moving on to the next news item, Colorado has voted to, well, sort of shut down part of the war on drugs. They voted to decriminalize small quantities of marijuana for recreational use. Yeah, not just medicinal use, but recreational use. Now, this, of course, is, well, it's one, let's say, small victory on the freedom front. Ron Paul would have supported this because he's against the war on drugs, and I am too, and most liberty lovers are against the war on drugs because, you know, it criminalizes people who are really no threat to society, and it creates a very large government enforcement agency, the DEA, for example, that raids people's homes at gunpoint and takes them, throws them in prison so that they can work at slave labor wages to produce products for wealthy corporations that are really an example of crony capitalism with ties to the corrupt Obama administration. Can't believe I got that out in one breath. But the point is, now this pits the federal government at odds with the states. What will happen when the state of Colorado says, no, you can't arrest these people, these pot smokers over here, let's say, but the federal government says, oh, yes, we can because it's a violation of federal law? My prediction, this is going to be a 10th Amendment showdown, folks. Yep. Learn more at the 10th Amendment Center, by the way, a great nonprofit website teaching people about the 10th Amendment, which is, of course, all about states' rights. And the real question is, how will the so-called Commerce Clause be interpreted by the Supreme Court if they actually hear a case based on this issue? Will the Commerce Clause once again be misinterpreted to say that the government, the federal government, has unlimited power over all commerce inside individual states? That's the question that we will have to be looking at in the future. So I can't wait for that one. That's going to be interesting. Now, speaking of drugs, we've got the CIA fronting an effort, apparently, to overthrow Rafael Correa, the current president of Ecuador. Yes, and as many of you may know, I used to live in Ecuador, so I've got some good information on Correa. Now, Correa is really a standalone kind of guy. He's an individual kind of guy. He used to be an economics professor, by the way, at the University of Illinois here in America. But since going back and resuming, or let's say acquiring the presidency of Ecuador, he has thumbed his nose at the United States of America, in particular, the American empire. And, you know, I wish we had John Perkins to comment on this, you know, author of Confessions of an Economic Hitman, because that's what's going on down there right now. Now, some additional background. Rafael Correa also closed down the Manta military base that the United States was using to run raids on coca fields in Ecuador and other countries down there, and that didn't go over very well with families that were using that to, you know, survive, you know, raising coca, which is completely legal down there for making coca tea and other things like that. He also, another thing that he did, and this is what really angered the globalists, Rafael Correa, he, well, let's say he nullified a lot of the globalist debt that was attributed, that the nation of Ecuador was supposed to be paying back to the globalist banks. So he nullified that debt. I think that was like 18 months ago or something in that range. That angered the globalists big time. So now they're trying to overthrow him. And you just saw some of the screenshots of what's going on. This came in by a tipster who is a Spanish-speaking investigative journalist in South America, who reveals that it looks like cocaine is being smuggled throughout South American region by a CIA/DEA operation in order to raise money to topple the government of Ecuador and overthrow Correa. Isn't that interesting? Gee, we've never seen that before. All right, that covers most of the news for this evening. Now here we've got a quote for you to consider. Think about this one very carefully. It's a quote from John Adams, Fear is the foundation of most governments. Fear, of course, motivates the zombified population into a state of endless compliance. You want to make them comply, scare them to death with everything, false flag, you name it. How about red level, orange level terrorism alerts? I remember flying back into the U.S. from Ecuador. I would arrive in the George Bush Airport in Houston. The first thing I would hear was, "Welcome to the George Bush Intercontinental Airport. The threat level is now orange." It's like, welcome to America. All right, we're going to a break, and we'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the life straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com. I really enjoy it when the globalists try to poison us, and, well, we resist them via a free market system. Hello, my fellow Info Warriors. Alex Jones here, introducing you to the ProPure family of gravity-fed filters. Now, you know that the globalists are filling our water with radioactive isotopes, fluoride, lead, mercury, arsenic. And one of the few systems that can efficiently and economically remove or reduce down to non-detectable levels these poisons are gravity-fed filters. And ProPure is the top of the line. Their filters are impregnated with silver, a natural antibiotic. On top of that, they're bigger, so they filter faster. You don't have to prime these the first time you use them. It's amazing. Go to Infowars.com and click on the shopping cart link to see the entire family of these babies. Now, the fluoride they add to our water is so tiny that most filters can't cut it out. But ProPure has their system that will, again, reduce it to non-detectable levels, almost get all of it out of there. That's also available. And if you look at the different systems they offer, the ProPure Big Brush Finish is on a stand, so it's easier on a table or at your restaurant or wherever you have it to go up with a glass or a mug and fill it up. Then there's this big baby right here, the ProPure King large version. Got a lot of different options that come with it. Also, they have the ProPure Big, probably one of the best values out there. And of course, it's burnished stainless steel. And then what I use on my RV, something that's great for your hunting cabin or the back porch, is the ProPure Traveler. Small and portable, but packs a huge punch, cleans out all that garbage. They also have a glass sight spigot, so you don't have to take the top off and look in the bottom area to see how much water. You can see how fast it's filtering with this optional system. The globalists obviously are hitting us through our water. It's time to take control of our lives. It's time to not give our children and families these poisons, and these systems cut it down to non-detectable levels across the board. ProPure is the name. I only promote what I believe in. And I use ProPure in my home and my office. And I recommend that you check out the information on ProPure at Infowars.com. We already have the lowest price at Infowars.com on the ProPure gravity filter system. But when you add in the 10% off when InfoWarriors use the product code WATER at Infowars.com, nobody can top it. So again, it's a win-win-win. Stop drinking the poison water. Checkmate the globalists when it comes to your health, and support Infowars.com and the work we're doing here. You know, many revolutionaries rob banks and things and kidnap people for funds. We promote in the free market the products we use that are about preparedness. That's how we fund this revolution against the New World Order in our move to restore our constitutional republic and a spirit of 1776 worldwide. Check it out at Infowars.com. ProPure, top of the line, #1, most powerful and effective and economical gravity-fed water system in the world. ProPure, available, discounted at Infowars.com. Don't forget product code WATER to save 10%. It's the latest generation, years in development. ProPure is the name.